Lisbon's calling and FCOT's listening. It's Tess's Eurovisions.
My good afternoon, Europe. My name is Tess, and I'm live on 87.7 FCOT FM with my Eurovisions just one day before the grand final of the 2018 contest. I'm so not ready for it to all be over! So let's celebrate while we still can, before things calm down for the summer. So, as ever, we shall begin with the international national anthem. Please, all rise if you will. Te Deum! Coming up, we have all the quality content I trust you to have come to expect from this show, with the added boost of energy from this week's two semi-finals having been and gone already. We have plenty of gossip, we have games, we have talking points, everything as usual, and we'll just generally be building up hype for the grand final of this year, where a new friend will be inducted into the Eurovision Hall of Fame, and right now it is anyone's game, and I love that. I hope the voting reflects that as well. Usually by this point in the season, there are one or two obvious frontrunners where you just know it's going to be one of them that's the next winner. But this year, as we'll see, the odds are so all over the place that, the fans are so divided that there really is no telling who's going to reach the top of that scoreboard, and that is just how I like it. As I said, I hope that extends to the voting as well. I want there to be about 15 different countries who get the old 12 points treatment. I don't want to see the winner coming from a mile away this time. And that should all be all the more incentive for you to watch the final on Saturday, 8 o'clock, BBC One. Do not miss it. The UK will be performing in the 9th position in the final, which means that for a first half running order draw, we actually got pretty lucky for a change, which makes a nice change. Opening the show, meanwhile, for the third year running, is the act that performed last in the second semi-final. So, 2 years ago, that was Belgium, last year that was Israel, and this year the honour of getting about 2 hours of sleep between qualifying and then rehearsing again goes to Melovin, who will be representing Ukraine this year with his rather charismatic number, Under the Ladder. Take it away, Melovin.
Top of the leaderboard, Tess's Eurovisions on FCOT FM.
Melovin there, representing Ukraine with his song Under the Ladder. His live performance features a piano that doubles as a coffin and a lot of fire. Go big or go home, as they say. And Ukraine is no stranger to clever and elaborate stage props, as their track record over the years has proven. Fun fact too, after this year's semi-finals and the shocks they brought, Ukraine and Australia are pretty much the only countries to have never failed to qualify in every semi-final they've competed in. I mean, technically that's also true of the UK because there was a pre-qualifying round in 1996, but forget about that. So, yeah, Russia, Azerbaijan and Romania all used to also share that honour, but after this year, nope, not anymore. And, speaking of news for that matter... Yes, even without factoring in the semi-finals, there's been a fair bit of news this week, so I shall have to do my absolute utmost to condense it down into a 60-second bite of news-flavoured goodness. That being said, let's see if we can't pop a minute on the clock and see how far I can get. This past week saw both semi-finals of the 2018 Eurovision Song Contest take place, with the final set to go ahead as planned on the evening of Saturday the 12th of May, where 26 countries will come together to compete for the top spot. China was going to broadcast the show, but has been banned after not showing Ireland and Albania's performances in the first semi-final. Last year's winner, Salvador Sobral, openly criticised the contest and the quality of its songs, directly insulting Israel's candidate and lamenting that nothing has changed since his participation. Last year's Croatian candidate, Jacques Hodek, took to social media to reprimand him for his selfish and unkind remarks, remarking that he may have won the contest, but his behaviour was very much unlike that of a true winner. In happier news, without any warning whatsoever, Wales have announced out of the blue that they intend to make a surprise debut in this year's Junior Eurovision Song Contest to be held in Minsk, Belarus in November. They will select their entry via a national final competition, and it will mark the first time a British country of any kind has been present at the contest since the UK's withdrawal after the 2005 edition, meaning the UK can no longer participate as a unified country in the junior contest. Wild stuff there, and you know what? There's still more besides, this is the second time the Czech Republic has qualified for the final in a history of ever, the first time being in 2016 where they placed second to last in the final. The bookmakers reckon they're stood in much better stead this year though, so they have that going for them. Random music sting from 2013. Thank you for reminding me. It's time for that little game of mine that I like to play here on my show. One last round of Almost Eurovision before the season wraps up for 2018, eh? The rules are the same as always. I shall play for you 3 snippets of songs that all competed in the same year, trying to represent their country at Eurovision and ultimately not being chosen. All you have to do is take to Twitter using the hashtag EuroTess to tell me what year you think they're all from. That being said, let's have a little listen now, shall we?
Hold on to me, and I'll hold on to you. I won't let go until tomorrow. Hold on to me, like so dookoła wszędzie wiszą strach dookoła nas. Może nadal myślisz, jestem taki sam. Wszędzie mile away. Go, in the battleground, go, and then never turn. Who needs a heart now that it burns?
Do you think you know which year those songs are from? You've got a good chunk of the show to think about it, and if you need to hear the songs again, fear not, I shall play a recap of them a fair few times between now and when I disclose the answers. In the meantime though, I was just singing the Czech Republic's praises, but let's see if they can put their money where their mouth is. Coming up now is Mikolas Josef with Lie to Me, which features such quality lyrics as "Plenty of these greedies wanna eat my spaghetti" and "You set my camel in the mood." Well, that aside, it's a great song, and the Czech Republic's best shot at winning in the nation's entire history at Eurovision, so, well, that's just my opinion, but the odds seem to back me up on that, so that being the case, let's listen now.
Top of the leaderboard, Tess's Eurovisions on FCOT FM.
Mikolas Josef there for the Czech Republic, and the second Czech entry in all of history so far to reach the Eurovision Grand Final. It's also one of the hot favourites to take home the entire trophy, so I should use that to inform my question of the week for you lovely people. I've been trying to make this a weekly thing, and I dare say it's been working. As ever, head over to Twitter using hashtag #EuroTest to let me know. Who do you think is going to win big this year, and who do you want to see win? Personally, I'd be happy with any of the songs I've been playing in today's show, and then some, but I want to hear what you think. Get in touch. Now, I actually do have an entire Eurovision party of guests in the studio with me. Joining me, as ever, is local Eurovision expert Elliot.
Hello, I'm back once again.
And also, just for this week, we also have Eurovision blogger Laura.
Hi, I'm Europe's Gallo 8.
She's also known as Europe's Gallo 8. And also, her fiancé is also here. He doesn't have to speak if he doesn't want to.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, party people. So, how have you been doing? Enjoying the shows?
Emotionally drained after these two shows. More so the first semi-final.
I feel that. Big mood.
Long story short, I really wanted Ireland to get through, and I may have jumped up and shouted very loudly when Ireland qualified as a 10th qualifier. Good thing my neighbours have just moved out, so they didn't hear me.
Well, if you want to see my reactions, they're available on youtube.com/TessHex. There, as I said earlier on in my show today, there is a bit of a Tess nipple fandom going on because I was shirtless in the first one, but I have nothing else to say. Laura, how have you been doing?
I've been good. Quite tired after these two semi-finals, but well worth the lack of sleep. Because, yeah, the results have been good. Results have been very surprising.
I mean, I agree with that.
But fair, like, there have been none major shocks in the sense of when you look at the songs. Maybe countries, yes, but when you look at the songs, like, as a lot of people were saying last night, it seems to be dead of, if you don't bring your best, regardless of who you are, you will go home now. The whole block voting and friends is not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Like, it's so weird to look at the map on Wikipedia and see just Russia as this massive red thing saying, like, no, they're not in the final this year. And, like, apart from Iceland and Belgium and Switzerland, it's kind of Western domination this year.
Yeah, surprisingly, which does well for when you look at the likes of Moldova, because Belarus, Georgia, Russia have all gone, so these countries have got to find somewhere else to get their points, and
maybe they'll just vote for the songs they like.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but then again, I really like the Moldovan songs, so if they want to throw all their 12 points there, go right ahead.
Well, it's good that Moldova have found their niche. So anyway, the question of the week then. Well, it's in two parts. Who do you want to win and who do you think will win? Sure.
Who I want to win, personally, is Estonia, because I see you pulling a face.
I am pulling a face.
I love opera, and my grandparents did it, and they were part of the Welsh National Opera, so I've always grown up with it, and this has always been such a wow song for me, purely because her range is incredible, and it looks extremely effortless, like there's no stress in her voice or her face, and I just think it's stunning. I mean, there's several songs I want to win, but if I had to pick one, it would be her. As for who I think's going to win, I don't know, but probably I would say put your money on France or Cyprus for completely conflicting reasons, but I feel like France has the message, which is really stunning, and they're great vocally, but Cyprus brings all the pyro and all the fire and all the what the Eurovision is known for. And yeah, I don't know.
And what do you think, Laura?
Who I would like to win? Well, those of you that know me, probably, obviously, the Netherlands. I've absolutely loved the song since its somewhat national final. I don't really know, because they advertised it as a national final, but then he just chose the song anyway.
Yeah, he performed 5 songs in like a late night talk show, like over the course of a week, and then they're just like, oh, it's going to be this one.
Yeah.
No voting involved, no effort.
True. I've just always liked the song. I've felt like I've always had a connection to it, so I feel really strongly about that. So yeah, I would like the Netherlands to win. Who I think is going to win? Cyprus.
Really?
Really?
It doesn't sound like a winner. That won't stop it, but it doesn't sound like one
I
to
can
me.
see what you mean, because it's a very basic run-of-the-mill Latin pop track, which...
It'll do well in the charts in this
Yeah,
country.
which a lot of the Brits, and she's had the most chart success with this song around Europe. So televote-wise, she could do very well, but it's maybe just a little bit basic for a professional jury. And when you look at other songs which are more intricate and clever, like Estonia, like France, like Israel, like Bulgaria, they could just overtake, so it's impossible to call, really. I also think Ryan, which obviously the Irish entry, has a great shot at doing well, because he's had a lot of chart success this week. He's the only ballad in that half, and his song tells a story really, really well. I know he's had a bit of flack about it, because of reasons I won't get into, but I think his message he wants to portray, which he said in an interview, he does very, very well on stage, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, Ireland performs 24th in the grand final tomorrow night. On Twitter, JR tweets in to say, I think it would be bad for Eurovision if Cyprus won. It took 5 people to write such a generic song, the like of which we've heard 100 times before. So that's someone else's take on the matter. So, in like a single soundbite, how are we feeling about the UK's entry this year? Syrian Storm.
Happy and proud.
That's one take on it. Laura, how about you?
More or less the same, really.
I mean, we have to be patriotic. There was a song from our national selection that I prefer, and yeah, as you're all aware, I've been trying to make a little feature out of playing one song per show from a national selection that didn't make it to the contest this year, and it seems only reasonable that this being the last show before the final, I do give due consideration to one of the favourites from the UK's selection that fell by the wayside in the end. This was absolutely my favourite from our national final this year. I voted for it, but alas, it didn't get through. Performing her song Legends and not representing the United Kingdom at Eurovision this year, here is Asander. Get in touch via #EuroTess and tell me what you think of the song. I genuinely want to know. But now, let's be legends.
Calling all creatives. I repeat, calling all creatives.
Introducing Overworld, a new YouTube production company based in Fleet, where we can help you turn into a creative, productive entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you're a player, an editor, or a graphic designer. We want you. With industry leaders and incredible technology, we're ready to turn you into the next big thing. So call us on 01252 620 777 and arrange to meet us right now. Join Overworld and press start on your YouTube career. Princess Mead, Farnborough, home of essential shopping every day. Featuring over 30 shops on a single level and even more to discover outside, we're home to big brands and local businesses alike, offering everything from everyday essentials to that special something and almost anything in between, with ample parking, an excellent food court and regular events to bring the community together. For more information, go to our website www.princessmead.co.uk or come in and visit us in person. Princess Mead, essential shopping every day.
All aboard! You're listening to Tess's Eurovisions, only on FCOT FM.
Hello, yes, bonjour, guten tag, etc. Здравствуйте if you speak that language. Привет. I am Tess, this is 87.7 FCOT FM, and we are live with my Eurovisions building up hype for the grand final tomorrow evening. It's tomorrow! What? How did it get to be so soon? Well, anyway, I shouldn't go on about that too much because, well, we got some betting odds to look at. That's a thing that I do in this show for some reason. So that being said, being as close to the final as we are, we should take a look at the odds to see who the bookmakers think is likely to take home the top spot tomorrow night, because it is wide open. Don't forget to tweet in through #EuroTest with your wants and your predictions. I am genuinely curious. I want to know what you think. So, yeah, for now, The odds look completely different now that the semi-finals have been and gone. Somehow Cyprus has worked their way up into the top spot, or they had earlier today, somehow pushing fan favourites Israel down into second. Lithuania was up there, France and Sweden have been filling out the top 5 as well, but I think here in the studio we're the most happy for Lithuania, Ieva Zasimaskaita with the song When We're Old. It's absolutely adorable, she's precious, it's lovely, and we all want her to do well. Former frontrunner Estonia has dropped to the lower end of the top 10 behind Germany and Ireland, amongst others. But hey, look, Ireland's in the top 10 for the odds. It's been too long. They last qualified in 2013, whereupon they finished last in the final. Speaking of, the bookies have the least faith in Albania, Slovenia, Serbia, the UK, and Portugal, funnily enough. But each one of those has more than enough fan hype to suggest that they won't be troubling the bottom end of the scoreboard at the end of the vote either. So who will you be voting for tomorrow? Every vote counts. Let me know. #EuroTess. I'm listening. And for that matter, people have already been in touch saying, for instance, Alex Gibson says, Legends was actually my least favourite of the national final. It's good, yes, but it's also too bland for me, sorry. We all have our opinions. Jackie on Facebook says, sorry, but I think Estonia is all bluster and no substance other than operatic style voice. I feel that. The lyrics are kind of mediocre, but I will start fights over this. She can sing well. It's just a shame at what she's singing. Coming up now, though, well, talking of Ireland qualifying for the first time in 5 years has given me a bit of a hankering for some more tunage from that year's contest. So here's a rather unlikely offering from Montenegro, translated as The Party. This is Igranka, performed by the Husi Clapper, featuring Nina Žižić. Prepare to be blown away in one capacity or another.
Tess's Eurovisions, bringing you only the best from Europe's favourite TV show.
Crazy stuff how that didn't qualify. I don't even know. What were people thinking? Why did y'all vote for that? It was, well, this was like 5 years ago at this point. It's just one of those songs that wasn't appreciated in its time. It's like Van Gogh, if Van Gogh was two Montenegrin rappers who like dubstep. That's Eurovision for you. That's Eurovision. Full of creative stuff. Now, let's have another listen to this week's Almost Eurovision candidates. There is still plenty of time to get in touch via #EuroTess if you think you know the year that these 3 songs tried and failed to take part in the contest. So, if you don't know which countries they were, well, there's no harm in taking a wild guess. If you don't know the year, again, take a guess. You miss all the shots that you don't take. So, here we go.
Hold on to me, and I'll hold on to you. I won't let go until tomorrow. Hold on to me, like so dookoła nas. Wszędzie wiszą gwiazdy, dookoła nas. Może nadal myślisz, jestem taki sam. Wszędzie wide away. Go in the battleground, go and then never turn. Who needs a heart now that it burns?
Okay, those are our 3 Almost Eurovision candidates from, well, a year that we don't know yet. Now, of all of y'all here in the studio, without giving anything away, do any of you think you know the answer? Maybe even which country specifically? Don't say anything yet, but do you think you know it?
I know the year and I know 2 of them.
I know the year and I know all 3 of them.
Wow. And our professional amateurs, any ideas?
My guess will be purely off how you've gone through the Almost Eurovisions through the past few weeks.
Well, I'll be revealing the answer later on in the show. What I will ask, though, is, are you enjoying Eurovision season so far? It's a bit of a stupid question. Of course you are. But, do you have any particular highs or lows from the semi-finals experience, apart from how just emotionally exhausting it is seeing all the good ones go, and all the good ones qualify because they're just all good ones? So wholesome.
I actually like that, despite the fact there's been no LED lights or staging or floor, which seems to be a big issue, they still put on a really good show.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the camera work might need a little bit of work, like there's a shot where Netta literally has her face with a pyro at one point, but for the bulk of it, it's been really good. I've actually really enjoyed it, and the time's gone really quick because they haven't dragged the semi-finals, which has been nice.
It's been immense fun. And Laura, what about you?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this Eurovision season, really. So many good songs, so many good memories, so many fun times. Yeah, it is a shame to see some of the good ones go, like Switzerland and Greece, and I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but
Don't
yeah.
worry, I can.
As can I.
And Ozzy, Billy G, the cool kid in the room. You know, You're nice, normal people. What do you think of the show so far? What have you seen? What have you heard? Anything? Any positive at all?
I haven't really heard much because I haven't really seen, with the exception of finding out who got through the semi-final this morning just before I came in here. I haven't actually been able to see much as I've been elsewhere.
So, any other thoughts before I do a little segue?
If you haven't seen the semi-finals, tomorrow is going to be amazing because we have people in a coffin, we have a stage dive, we have someone singing upside down. It's just a bit here, there, and everywhere.
The opening sequence of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, there's like the comedy door routine, which is great.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's just fabulous.
If you need a scorecard for tomorrow's final, you can find them on our Facebook and Twitter. I'll be posting them in just a moment. I would say there are at least 2 songs this year where the live staging was brilliant, but then everyone said, oh, no, it's such garbage, and then acted as if the artists had just come on stage and farted and then left again. And I honestly don't know what caused that. Latvia, for one. That's a brilliant song, and I thought, like, that was one of my personal favourites this year. It was my 5th favourite, and like, she did it really well, and everyone's like, oh, no, she was mediocre. Like, what were you watching?
Yeah, a lot of people. I actually really liked the song, but a lot of people in the vlog site I work with said this is my last place, and they couldn't stand it. And
Why? It was brilliant.
I don't know. I mean, one of my friends did actually say to me when I was talking to her last night. They said this needs to have a black woman singing on it. I disagree with that.
What's the relevance?
That's what I said. I don't get it because she's, it's a sultry song, yes, but she sold it really well, and I was really impressed with what she did. Yeah. And I really liked the tone of her voice. So yeah, I don't understand what her flat for Latvia last night, to be honest, but because I really enjoyed it.
She was absolutely robbed. Any thoughts there, Laura?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Latvia's song this year. I would personally have Latvia instead of Serbia in the final, but that's just me, honestly.
Sounds reasonable. And the other song I'm thinking of here, and one that I kind of understand as far as criticisms of the performance go, even though she was still better than some of the acts that actually did qualify on Tuesday, but hey, maybe that's just more of the salt talking. I'm talking about Belgium. And you know what? I fully intend to make time for this Bond-themed bop here and now anyway, so y'all can hear what you are missing out on by not watching the semi-finals, where the shock non-qualifiers happen. So, representing Belgium and tragically sitting this year's final out, here is Laura Groescheneken, or Senik for short, with A Matter of Time. You will kick yourself for missing this if you didn't watch the semi-finals.
We're flying off to Lisbon. All aboard Tess's Eurovisions 2018.
Thoroughly underrated that song is, I'll have you know. Belgium, A Matter of Time, didn't qualify, should have done. That song was my 2nd favourite out of all of them this year, but after the semi-finals, only 4 of my top 10 favourites from this year actually survived qualifying. Oh well, that's just how it goes. Some songs have to fall, so there's room for the winners to rise up. Speaking of, over on Twitter, Alex Gibson tweets in again to say, hearing Igranka back then reminded me that I have a theory that someone will use an astronaut in their staging in 2019 because there's been one every 3 years since, because Moldova 2016 also had an astronaut for some reason. As for who I think/want to win this year, well, there's a lot that I want. Estonia, Albania, France, Moldova, but Israel may be the actual winner even though they have a bad place in the running order. Girl, they're like, 22nd in the running order? That's relatively favourable. JR on Twitter is so sad that Latvia and Switzerland failed to make it, and also I have tweeted out and put on Facebook the scorecard should you need one for the final. So, yes, talking about some songs having to go so others can rise up, that segues nicely into giving me an excuse to remind you lovely people of this week's edition of Almost Eurovision. Keep tweeting in, keep using #EuroTess, and let me know if you think you've got which year these 3 songs tried and failed to represent their countries at the contest, and if you think you know which countries they are, then go right ahead and show that knowledge off too, but just the year is fine. That's what I'm looking for here, but if you think you know more, then go right ahead. So,
Hold on to me, and I'll hold on to you. I won't let go until tomorrow. Hold on to me, like so dookoła nas. Wszędzie wiszą dookoła nas. Może nadal myślisz, jestem taki sam. Wszędzie wide away. Go, in the battleground, go, and then never turn. Who needs a heart now that it burns?
tricky stuff, but not too tricky, I hope, and that wasn't meant to be a clue. For the uninitiated, there was an act called Too Tricky, as in the number 2, tricky. They represented Iceland in 2001 with a song called Angel, got 3 points, finished 22nd out of 23 at the close of the voting. That's a fun little micro fact there that we'll just file away and forget about. Anyway, moving on, let's get back into songs that are still in the running to potentially win this year's contest. Don't forget, by the way, if you need scorecards to keep track of your thoughts during the final, I have made some of my very own. You can find them over on Facebook and on Twitter at FCOT FM. You'll know when you found us. I bring this up because up next, as I said, performing number 22 in the final, here is the fan favourite entry from Israel, the wild and wonderful Netta Barzilai. I've been talking about her for the past 4 weeks, and I think it's time that you got formally acquainted with her. So, prepare yourself for 3 minutes of an experience representing Israel this year, Netta with Toy.
What? But you're on the other side of Rushmore. How can I get there in time?
Fear not, random stranger. I am the spirit of convenient travel solutions, and I've just booked you a taxi from Eurotaxis.biz.
Eurotaxis? But they don't come out this far, do they?
Actually, they're expanding right now, bringing their 20 years of experience in taxis and minibuses to an even wider area.
Thank you, strange angel thing. No, I won't be late for my meeting.
Think nothing of it, mortal. And if you're ever rushing into Rushmore again, just call Eurotaxis on 01252 376666 or use the Eurotaxis.biz app.
Hi, we're Link Up Limited, and we don't do fuss. We know that branding matters, and we're proud to have helped make merchandise for FCOT FM. We offer over 80,000 different products that can be branded or designed with you in mind, from mugs and bags to fully embroidered leisure, school and work clothing. We're based in Aldershot, and we pride ourselves on fast delivery and solid quality. To find out more, go to linkuplimited.com. That's linkupltd.com. Or give us a call on 01252 343 127.
Lisbon's calling and FCOT's listening. It's Tess's Eurovisions.
Right now, here in the UK, the time is 12:45. Where does the time go? Because tomorrow at 8 o'clock, BBC One, Eurovision Final 2018. For now, though, here in the present, we are enjoying Tess's Eurovisions right here on 87.7 FCOT FM. And for the last time before Eurovision season ends for the year as well, I don't want it to be over. So sad. And as part of the festivities, I played you 3 snippets from songs that all tried and failed to represent their countries at the contest in the same year. Before I reveal the answers to that, though, let's listen to them one more time to give you lovely people a chance to get in touch through #Eurotest to let me know if you've got the answer. That being said, for one last time, here's a little recap.
Hold on to me, and I'll hold on to you. I won't let go until tomorrow. Hold on to me, like so dookoła wszędzie wiszą dookoła nas. Może nadal myślisz, jestem taki sam. Wszędzie mile away. Go in the battleground, go and then never turn. Who needs a heart now that it burns?
So, lovely people, party people here in the studio, do you have any thoughts about who that might be? Because this is the fun part, revealing the answers. Ozzy?
So I have no idea the country's songs or anything. My guess is purely on how you've run Almost Eurovision throughout the 4 weeks. I'm just guessing it's 2014.
Ooh, close. Elliot, want to weigh in?
Can I spoil it? Because I do know.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I know the answer, and I say I know 2 of the songs. I'm going to take a stab at the country ones. I'm not sure, but I definitely know 2 of them because I loved them both in this year and their selections, and I wanted them both to win.
Go ahead.
The year is 2016.
Yes.
Song 1 is Darline with Until Tomorrow, which took part in the UK selection.
I loved it personally.
And
It's
her,
so cute.
one of the girls' guitar straps broke on stage.
I
bless
didn't
her
remember
heart.
seeing that happen,
And
but it
she
happened.
kept going because I was there live. The third song is a Danish entry called Who Needs a Heart by Christelle Lisberg.
Not her best song, but it's still pretty good.
I'm still confused why the backing singer said hoverboards on stage. But I did love it. The second song, I don't know, but I'm going to guess it's from Ukraine or something like that, just because of the dialect. I'm not entirely sure.
Very close. Laura, do you know?
I know that the year was 2016, and yes, Elliot did correct song 1 and song 3, but song 2 was from Poland's national selection, and the song was called Lustra, but I can't think of who sings it.
It was performed by Natalia Schroeder. And yeah, Lustra, meaning mirrors. I knew that song was a thing. I didn't realise that was in their national final, and I watched that national final. But that was the year with Margaret and Cool Me Down, and Eddie Tagorniak and Grateful, and also Michael Schbach and Colour of Your Life. So there was a lot to distract me.
And Kasia Moss, who then went on to win the following year.
Yeah, we all remember Kasia Mosh, except for the people who don't, which is kind of a no-duh statement. So yeah, shout out to JR on Twitter and Jackie on Facebook. Also, shout out to Rachel Fleming on Twitter, who's listening in from Finland at the moment. So wow, thanks. And I don't really know much Finnish, so ilman tullinnakseni on täynnä enkkariaita.
Kiitos for listening.
That's a good word. Juoksentelisinkohan. I would say kuusipala, but that can mean 6 different things. So JR also tweets in to add, Ozzy, you should have known to do your homework before coming on Eurovisions by now. Consider yourself thoroughly told.
That's because you went 2017, 2016, 2015, and now you've gone back to 2016.
I wanted to throw a curveball.
It's definitely a curveball.
I didn't want to do any overlap with some of the ones that I used from last year's as well, because if you watched last year's show. Actually, no, week 2 was 2011 anyway.
I can't remember them. I can't remember what you did last year.
Week 2 was 2011. That was difficult to find songs for. Well, anyway, I do hope you enjoyed that little fun end game. Coming up now, though, we have another one of my favourite songs from this year, my mother's favourite song overall as well, just edging out Germany. She likes the German song too, which I played in the first week, and it's another one that the betting odds have definitely been enjoying, though they have been drifting lately, and I'm offended by this. So performing in slot 18 in the final, which will stand them in very good stead, we have Bulgaria, a group called Equinox, who are hoping to keep Bulgaria's recent Eurovision juggernautery alive, following the country's 4th place finish in 2016 and their 2nd place finish last year, hoping to halve their placing yet again this time around. Here is a curious, gorgeous experience of a song by the name of Bones.
All aboard! You're listening to Tess's Eurovisions, only on FCOT FM.
Personally, I would say that could be considered a strong contender for the win, bearing in mind they're popular, they've got a good running order draw. I would be happy if that won, because Bulgaria are the Sweden of the 2010s, and I am okay with this. Over on Twitter, we've had some very positive responses. JR tweets in just to say, Bulgaria! With a load of A's and a heart eyes emoji, which is just fantastic. Good to see spreading some enthusiasm there. So, yeah, Bones there by the group Equinox for Bulgaria. From their magical artistic stage presence, it's a bit divisive, I admit, and their studio quality harmonies, even when performing live, or maybe that's just me being biased, I don't know, I like the song. I'm definitely going to vote for that anyway. But what do you lovely people here in the studio think? I know, for instance, Elliot's not especially a fan of that song for whatever reason. Get some taste, boy.
I have grown to like it more than when it first got announced.
I have that effect on people.
I will admit, it was partially because BNT, the broadcaster, were really bigging this up and causing a lot of hype and a lot of intrigue about the entry, and I just expected more of a wow factor. But it just seems a bit busy and mismatched at times. I can see it winning, and I wouldn't be upset if it did win because they are very good singers. Also because that area of the world is quite cheap, and I want to be able to afford Eurovision next year without having to sell a kidney. So, yeah, it's okay, but it is growing me. But my favourite part is the ending when they all sort of do
Savage.
Well, no, the bit when they say into the unknown, I love Beyond the Bones. Yeah, that's the thing. I love Beyond the Bones. I still don't really understand what that means.
It's not just loving one aspect of a person, but loving their entirety. It's don't just love the physical body. Don't just be in love with the shape of whomst.
I mean, they're great guys. They're doing a great job. Bulgaria can be proud. I'm just not feeling it this year. But then again, I didn't love their entry last year and they got 2nd, so what do I know?
I think Bulgaria could do no wrong at this point. They probably could. Ozzy, what did you think of that song? Is it a bit unusual?
It's definitely unusual, but then what you've been... Thanks.
Elliot became the microphone to him.
So, but some of the songs you've played in the past few weeks, and as you've been trying to educate me with Eurovision, have definitely been out there. I'm a little undecided at the moment. I might have to listen to it again to
buy the CD. It's on Spotify. You can get it on Amazon. And you can get the physical thing as well. Listen to all of the songs, including Soon Move, which is my pet name for San Marino. They're so sweet. They're lovely. Laura?
Yes, Bulgaria. I'm intrigued by the song. I didn't like it as much at first, but I've grown to like it.
I love it Beyond the Bones personally.
Yeah, that much is true. Their performance on stage, though, I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook saying how they don't have that much chemistry as a group, and I kind of see where they're coming from, but...
Oh, it's because they're not a group, they're a common framework.
Oh, that makes sense. Do common frameworks stage themselves that way?
I mean, Common Linux stage themselves that way.
Apparently so, and this isn't us like a parody of the word group. They literally said we're not a super group. We are what we call a common framework.
Yeah, this
we're
is what they actually call themselves.
It was something very long-winded.
They're really heavy on the symbolism.
Yeah, something.
Which, I like it, but then again, I liked Azerbaijan last year with the horse's head guy on a ladder. That was the thing that happened.
To be fair, when the song got announced, it split the camp down the middle. People either loved it or they're like, I'm not sure. And the last 2 years, the winner has done that. So.
Especially last year.
It caused a reaction, which is what you need.
It did actually. It did place first in the Mega Top 43 experiment that I did on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/TessHex, where I took 80 people, all gave me their top 43s, like ranked from 1st to 43rd. I added all those together, and Bulgaria absolutely stormed it, getting nearly 2,500 points.
Okay, that is quite telling, because, you know, if you like the song, you're going to vote for it in droves. If it's going to connect to people seeing it for the first time tomorrow night, I'm not sure. But they stand a good chance to do very, very well, and I won't be shocked to see Bulgaria win, but yeah, I enjoy it, but I'm still learning to warm to it.
Well, I really should start wrapping things up now, much as I don't want to, because it's 12:57, so first and foremost, I'd like to offer my sincerest thanks to my guests, Elliot, Ozzy, Laura, Phil, and it's been a pleasure having you here. Do any of you, have social medias or whatever that you want to plug, because I'm the king of the plugs here on FCOT FM.
Sure, I'll go. ERHarris76 on Twitter, and I also write for a blog site called Eurovox. We're currently out in Lisbon, so just make sure you follow them at Eurovox on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We would really, really appreciate it.
Yep, I am at EuropeScalo8 on Twitter, and I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/EuropeScalo8.
With a Z. EuropezGal08.
Europez. Yep. And you can check me out on Tess's videos, because I've done a few of those as well.
We have fun together. For my own part, excuse me, of course you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Tess Hexagons, that's TESSHEXEAGONS. Could be easier to spell. And on youtube.com/TessHex, where I post video essays on the regular about everything from Eurovision to modern gaming, hence my involvement in the Game Guys this year. Also, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/TessHex, where you can get actual rewards in exchange for sponsoring me and my videos. But I'm being kind of obnoxious here. Before I go too far down the rabbit hole of self-promotion, let's give due attention to the UK's very own entry in this year's contest, performing 9th in the final between host nation Portugal and surprise underdog Serbia. Here, for one last time on FCOT FM, is Susanna Marie Cork, better known as Suri, and her song for the UK. Can I get an actual hoya here in the studio? One more time for Storm, and thank you for tuning in. Hoya! Hoya! Over to Suri.